Alright, so that's my favorite ship in the Star Trek universe. This one's a little bit different version, but that's not what this video is about. That's just something that I'm interested in. I like Star Trek. I like Star Wars too. This video is about my lawyers. My very first lawyer was Amanda Balehash in Boulder, Colorado. She absolutely refused to do her job. She kept on having me come to Boulder to go see her investigator who never showed up. So, after a few months of bullshit over me being assaulted and them refusing to do anything about it, refusing to allow me to make a report, refusing to take pictures of my injuries, the woman realized that I actually had saved the evidence that I said I was saving. And it wasn't but a few days after that the charges against me were dropped. Unfortunately, I needed the police in Boulder to be charged with crimes for what they did to me. But they refused to do so, knowing that I wouldn't have the money for a civil lawyer, and they don't have to investigate it because the public doesn't care about me, because I was painted as a child molester, a murderer, and somebody who assaults cops. So, Amanda Balehash, unwilling to do her job, well, she told me that the DA thought it was fucked up the way that I was treated, and that's why the charges were dropped. Meanwhile, when I called the Boulder Police Department to find out what was up with that, they claimed that it was because Officer Vanderleest didn't want to press charges. Why would it be Officer Vanderleest's choice whether or not charges were pressed? It was Officer Lolatai who assaulted me, not Officer Vanderleest. Officer Lolatai does this often. So then, when I went to Candace's and Officer Michael Beard pulled his bullshit, and Candace was afraid of her and her daughter getting thrown out into the snow, although that wouldn't happen. Her mom would take her in. Her mom would rescue her. Her mom would something. And that's sad. Candace doesn't realize how much she gets just for having a family. I suppose while I got this out, we can show you some stuff. It's not hooked up to the internet, but whatever. Now, my first public pretender in the Clearview case. That's with the pocket dial at Candace's and all the stuff that happened there. I decided to kill myself. I couldn't handle any more people being threatened. People who I felt sorry for. Like Karamia, who was pretending like she was my friend and letting me know that her son had pictures of a rope around his neck sent to her for trying to help me. Now, whether or not that's true doesn't matter. It should come out in court. Now, when I tried to kill myself, it's because the police wouldn't take my report. I had been trying. Instead of them taking my report, they threatened Candace in Haxton, Colorado. And Candace isn't the only person that they harassed. So I tried to kill myself. When I realized that didn't work, I continued trying to get the officers to take a report and look at that bag of evidence that just kept on getting bigger the more they did to me. Meanwhile, the Bollingers wouldn't let up on their bullshit, and I had asked for people to leave the Bollingers alone. I was never given that same courtesy. As a result, I am not going to stop speaking out against those pieces of shit. Like Jennifer Farina and Troy. And of course, Natalie's dad. You know that guy's on my shit list. I didn't want to expose anybody as far as that goes. When I left Virginia, I wanted that situation to be over. Now, my public pretender in the Clearview case, where again, I was the one who was assaulted for trying to make a police report. Well, the first one was Zoe Tanner. who wouldn't do her job. She kept on setting up appointments and not showing up. And she'd set up appointments with her investigator, just like Amanda Balehash had. And that investigator wouldn't show up. And she wouldn't call to let me know that they weren't going to keep their appointments. So it cost me money that I didn't have. So after a few months of Zoe Tanner not doing her fucking job, by the way, I went to all of my court dates until I was arrested for that fire in August. That was after months of the police ignoring the fact that I was being assaulted and people who were supposed to be helping me going out of their way to take things wrong and then tell me that I have to do more shit. More stuff in order to get the help that they promised me that they wouldn't have expectations of, that they would help me how I needed, but none of them bothered to find out what was going on. So how the fuck are they going to be able to help me? So Zoe Tanner, I had a lot of issues with her. She didn't show up, she didn't call, she made multiple excuses the final time I was supposed to see her. So then a woman named Stephanie Cotton, she's supposed to be my public pretender, but she's telling me she can't be my public pretender, but she's going to go through evidence with me. But she can't do anything, and she can't look at any evidence because she's not my attorney. That would be Zoe Tanner. So, basically, this woman is showing me a video of something that I was there for, a video that starts in the middle of the altercation, and it shows that the officer in that case lied on his police report. But Stephanie Cotton can't do anything because she's not my public pretender. So then there's this other woman named, what is her name? Well, anyway, the third one, I'll find her name here in just a minute. The third one, I want to say it's Catherine something or other. She was a complete and total fucking bitch. Now, every time that I started getting pissed off at these people for not doing their jobs, they would start telling me stuff like, well, you can't assist in your defense. You need to get yourself checked. You need to be taking medications. See, that's what they do. They try to intimidate you with the mentally ill thing, same as everyone else, instead of looking at evidence. So then, we'll fast forward. I was trying to sue those people for not doing their jobs. That last lady, she was on the phone with me for about 20 minutes, not answering my questions about who is my attorney, because she wasn't. They were telling me that I would get a new attorney after my next court date. So basically, every month I'm spending $300 or more, because one of those months I had to go to court twice in that particular case. And it was fucked up because that was the same month that I had to go to a court date for Boulder as well. So that's $900 I had to come up with that I didn't have. My disability is only $600 a month. Meanwhile, Ken and Leah still have all of my stuff. And Amanda and Lana pulled their shit in fucking Montana. So then, I get a new one, and her name is Jill Gookin. Now, the way that they tricked me into this, here's what happened. So I go into court, and my public pretenders aren't there. And they tell me I can either enter in a plea, not a plea of not guilty, because a plea of not guilty they're not going to help me with. I can either plead guilty and take the charges, or I can sign a piece of paper that absolves the public pretender's office of all wrongdoing. So then I've got Jill Gookin. And Jill Gookin won't do her fucking job. She's a complete and total fucking bitch to me. So I'm letting her know that I don't feel comfortable with her being my attorney, and that I really want to go after the son of a bitches in the public pretender's office for the shit that they did. And the fact that at this point I've had multiple officers refuse to take my report, I need someone to go in with me to force them to take a report about the assaults and the threats. But they won't do it. They keep transferring me out of county. And then expecting me to go back to court in those counties where I'm being assaulted. And like a trooper, I go to all of them. This is going to be a 2-part video, by the way. So then, after I get done with all of that fucking bullshit, which is still not done, that's when I lost my phone last year. The one with all the evidence of what Miss Shelley put me through and what a whole bunch of other people put me through, like Lana and Amanda and Miss Jerry. And they're not the only ones. See, all of these people who want to pretend like I victimized them were slandering my name, were playing me, were ganging up on me, while my friends were like, I can't do nothing, I can't do nothing, I can't do nothing. That's because the people who understand are homeless, and nobody wants to listen to the homeless. So it got to the point eventually where I literally had to chase an officer around Chapel, Nebraska to try to get him to stop and take my report. He outright refused. That officer's name is Hahn, H-A-H-N. That's his last name. That's in Chapel, Nebraska. That's over Jordan Anderson not doing his fucking job. So I got 2 public pretenders over that because they wanted to have me diagnosed with bipolar disorder so they can make it okay, all the things that they did, including ignoring my report. Why did they do that? Well, that's because the reason they didn't take my report seriously when my grandma's funeral happened and Alicia Bollinger and Ted Bollinger were fucking with me is because Graham is a fucking moron. He went outside and he told them that I just needed someone to talk to and that I have Asperger's. And that officer used what most people do. Oh, he's a fucking retard who just needs somebody to fucking bitch at for a little bit and then it'll all be fine. No, it's not fucking fine. These people were messing with my fucking head. Alicia Bollinger and her father both. Protecting the fucking predators. Alicia, you're a piece of shit. So then, it got to the point where I was still getting assaulted in Boulder. I got assaulted by Derek Apodaca. And, well, I very well can't go to the police in Boulder County now, can I? So I just have to take it. Well, that's where Rose, pretending like she's distraught, then she can go ahead and decide she wants to invite people who assault me to be friends with her. This is where Melissa Rogers, this is someone that I know in fucking Boulder, Colorado, shows her true colors. But that's neither here nor there. As far as the public pretenders go, after Rose did that, well, I went off the fucking deep end. I just wanted my life to end. I wanted these people who were being predatory towards me to stop. I wanted the threats towards me to stop. And I needed to prove that it's okay for them and it's not okay for me. So I threatened to kill just the people who threatened to kill me and my friends and my family. And I threatened to take Rose and Alicia to court. And they pretended like I threatened their lives because they are fucking cowards and pieces of shit. Rose is a first-class piece of shit. So is Alicia. These people belong in prison for the things that they have done. Not just to me, but also to Natalie.